This is unbelievable. At full deck and 25 of the best players from both states. Going to be awesome. They'll throw the ball in the middle, they can sort it out themselves.
Warner roving on the boot, and the first goal goes to WA. Ran into trouble. Norton had him collared. Big turnover. Charlie Cameron goals open and slots it.
Here we go.
Dacos pounced, darted, and kicked it to Bontempelli. And kicking truly.
A heavy landing.
Dangerfield put his head over it again. Able to feed it through to King, who finishes off the good work. Feeds it out now to Charlie Cameron. Found some space. Hooking back. Hits another. Here they come. WA. He has copped it all afternoon. Zach Butters. Patrick Dangerfield comes charging out. It's Sarong, who they would normally cheer here at Optus Stadium. Stuck it right up it.
It was a worthy start to the season. Chris Scott was there as the Victorian coach with Gary Lyon. Chris, it's great to have you back on 360. Welcome.
Good to be here. Thanks, Jared.
Carlton coach Michael Voss. Vossy, welcome back.
Gus.
Scotty.
Is that something that you'll cherish, do you reckon, when your days are done?
Yeah, absolutely. I considered it an honour when I was first asked in October last year. But even with that privilege, it grew on me over time. And really, I think, and Gaz can speak to this as well, the players drove that. You know, the concept wasn't going to work unless the players were right behind it. And really, they've laid a platform now for something potentially bigger. And I'd like to think that if it does grow a little bit, it'd be nice to look back and say, well, sort of we were there at the start.
Yeah, they proudly took ownership of it, which was, from a coaching point of view, I think they were as excited as we were to have them as players, to have these coaches. But the way that they took ownership over the course of 3 or 4 days and the way how quickly they came together, Vossy, was just heartwarming. I'm assuming Western Australia was the same. In fact, I know that to be the case. And then in the space of 5 days, you get this pretty close bond about it. It was a bit of a sad day to say goodbye.
What did we learn that might light the way for the future? So I guess there are two questions. What could it be? And in the first hit out in February, did it ask too much of the players at that time of year?
Well, it's an interesting question. And if your takeaway is that maybe the intensity is too high, for mid-February, I think you need to be able to answer the next question, which is, which time is better? And from my perspective, there are differing views on it, but we had quite a few players from Geelong participating. Lawson Humphries was in the WA team as well. And my take was, we had a game 2 days later at Dingley against Hawthorn, and all of our guys to a man wanted to play in the state game. And that made perfect sense to me. So I suspect over time, if there is clarity around the slot, it will give those players and clubs a chance to sort of think about how they might prep those guys a little differently. But I think, on the whole, those guys are pros. Most of our guys knew Gaz with, months in the lead up that they were going to play and got themselves ready. And we didn't know exactly sort of how it was going to play out. I think one takeaway that was really clear was the game was too long. And so you could mitigate that really easily. And I think that the best forum by a mile, if you want to have a look at little tweaks in the way the game's played, is that one, because the best players tend to adjust. Even it was the first time we'd really seen the adjustment of the stand rule. No 50s. Smart players tend to make smart decisions on all sides of the ball. Where could it go to? I mean, I kind of have this loose idea in my head that it could mimic a little bit of, say, the World Cricket Test Championship, where over a course of over a period of years, you kind of qualify for the right to play in the game and say, we're the number one state in the country. But I'd be staggered, given the feedback from the WA and Victorian boys, that there weren't South Australian and allied players who would sort of be sitting there wishing it was them.
You're preaching to the converted. So the other side of the coin is I'm assuming you sat there and watched it, and
it's a good idea until about 10 minutes in, Gaz. So it was sitting in your lounge room watching your full back go down like that wasn't nice. But no, I think the timing of it, from our perspective, we had no issue with it. I think what's been spoken about, the potential adjustments you'd make, I think keeping the scarcity of it to keep the value in it is really important. So it's not just the timing in the season where it is, but maybe how often we do it. I think the uniqueness of that experience, and when you are immersed into those experiences, everyone takes away something amazingly positive out of it. Whether you're over in WA and the build up to it, whether you're part of the actual experience itself, it does create a sort of unique experience. But I would more err on maybe, once every couple of years, every 3 years. And so you get, over the course of your career, if you span over 10 years, you might get only 2 or 3 times to be able to play for your state, which I don't think there'd be anybody that wouldn't put their hand up for that if that was the tack we took.
What got said in the lounge room when Wiedering got crushed?
I'm not allowed to swear, Jared. So I thought he had a ruptured spleen, a punctured lung and a broken scapula at that particular time. So it was just really awkward. I mean, you rarely see those. You rarely see those in our game, let alone in that particular game. So just put it in the unfortunate basket. Obviously, you're sort of trying to text as much as you possibly can with what's going on. But as Scotty said on the night, you've got to trust the professionals that are there. They get taken care of very, very well. They're in very good hands. So we had to be patient at that time, make sure that he was diagnosed correctly. And then once we got the information through, we obviously at least, it wasn't too much damage in the end, and obviously a possibility to play this weekend.
Yeah, so we saw him training, running around. So will you wait to make a call on it as late as you can, or...?
Oh, no, we'll make a pretty firm decision, I would have thought, by the end of tomorrow about whether that's possible or not. But no, he's tracking along really well. So, as you'd expect, the first few steps he makes after only a few days through that incident was pretty remarkable when you consider, when you look at that, it's quite graphic about what happened. But no, he's recovered really well. And, we're, at this point in time, we're expecting him to take his position in the team.